Thanos is one of the greatest supervillains ever to grace the big screen. He lived as a lonely idealist on the nearly failed planet Titan, and was engulfed by a genocidal ideology to save half of all life across the galaxy. His philosophies not only affected the characters within the Marvel Universe, but captivated tens of millions of people in the real world, leading many to ask, was Thanos right all along? Warped by his horrifying experiences and tactics, Thanos aims to impose his vision through devastating force with the six Infinity Stones. Ultimately, his actions leave a permanent scar on the universe, showcasing the destructive potential of unchecked ideology. So let's dive deeper into Thanos' extremely unethical utilitarian philosophies and how he gained the title of the Mad Titan.
Titan was like most planets. Too many mouths, not enough to go around. And when we faced extinction, I offered a solution.
Genocide.
But random, dispassionate, fair to rich and poor alike. They called me a madman.
While his early upbringing was originally canonized in the novel Thanos Titan Consumed, it was soon decanonized by Marvel Studios. While it answered most questions people had about Thanos' early life, it also interfered with Marvel Studios' plans with the Eternals in the future. The most we know about Thanos is that he was born a deviant of the eternal race that lived on Titan. As he grew, he noticed that more people were being born than what depleting resources could provide, ultimately leading him to suggest randomly killing half of his race in order to secure the other half's prosperity. Utterly disgusted by his suggestion, his race banished him from his homeworld. Thanos would later return to his homeworld, finding it in ruins, a destruction he predicted but couldn't prevent. Eventually, Thanos came across a solution. If he were to collect all six Infinity Stones, he could, with his will, save all planets from reaching the same conclusion as his homeworld. Thanos' philosophy is often described as an extreme form of utilitarianism, though it deviates significantly from traditional ethical frameworks. Utilitarianism, in its basic form, aims to maximize overall happiness and well-being for the most amount of people. It focuses on the consequences of actions, not on intentions or rules, and argues that the right action is the one that produces the best overall consequences. While this sounds a lot like what Thanos has planned, there is a weakness. While the results are supposed to provide a better future for the other half of the population, he forgets that his plan should involve the happiness or well-being of everyone affected. That being said, no one person's happiness is inherently more than another's, and while it may seem noble to have people survive after half the population being snapped away, it is not enough. Humans need to build bonds and relationships with one another, and if this is taken away, it can result in negative physical and mental stress that could cause societal and social collapse. While films like Avengers Endgame and the succeeding films don't exactly dive too deep into the effects of the societal decay and collapse of civilization caused by Thanos' actions, we can see some of the effects in the therapy session in Avengers Endgame.
First time in 5 years, I didn't even know what to talk about.
What did you talk about?
Same old crap, things have changed, and my job, his job, how much we miss the Mets. And he cried as they were serving the salads.
While society would eventually gather itself together again, most evidently seen in the fall of past great nations like Rome, the negative effects would leave an impact so great in society that it could harm it more than it could save it. To illustrate this point, I went ahead and asked AI, what would happen if a real-world Thanos snap occurred? And this is what it said. Initially, the sudden disappearance of people vanishing mid-sentence, mid-drive, mid-operation would cause widespread accidents and immediate fatalities beyond the initial snap, meaning there would be more deaths than the half that Thanos was intending. The lack of explanation behind why the people disappeared would fuel widespread panic, conspiracy theories, and religious interpretations, and emergency services would be overwhelmed and communication systems would likely collapse. Infrastructure would collapse as essential services, such as power grids, water treatment, or hospitals, would be crippled due to the loss of personnel. Global markets would crash, supply chains would disintegrate, and widespread unemployment would follow. Governments would struggle to maintain order, and some might collapse entirely, and this power vacuum would lead to a conflict and the rise of extremist groups. These effects and more would wreak havoc on the humanity of Earth, as well as the worlds without number in the Marvel Universe. While Thanos' utilitarian worldview is highly dependent on another factor called consequentialism, meaning that the pain and suffering now would lead to more positive, long-lasting effects in the future, we can argue many points that no, indeed, Thanos is not correct. The ends do not justify the means. But it is hard to completely dismiss every step and belief of Thanos, as a great many people would also argue the great effects Thanos' snap could have, even at the cost of short-term happiness, creating a paradoxical question of Thanos' philosophy. What do you think? Does Thanos' extreme view of utilitarianism justify killing half the population in order to save the other half? Or does he still live up, in your mind, to the title of the Mad Titan? Let me know in the comments down below, and also please see my other video, Captain America, Philosophy of a Hero, which should be popping up right now.